Okay, so yesterday we learned that when you put a quadratic equation in factored form, you can find the zeros. Do you guys remember that? So we learned how to factor, right? Because factoring is gonna help us find the zeros. Okay, when it's in factored form, you can find easily the zeros. This is, you don't have this written down?
No, I haven't written down.
Okay.
That little part.
Do you mind if I move to the next page?
Good.
It's online.
Good.
Okay? All right. Now today we're gonna so if they give me a graph and they ask me to find the equation, okay? Remember we did that with a vertex form. Now we're gonna do it with a factor. Okay? So if I want to find the equation in the factored form, I have to follow the following steps. So first, you're going to state the generalization for a quadratic in factored form. So the generalization is this: y equals a, x minus r, x minus x. Remember, it's right here. Okay? So that's your factored form. Now, the second, you have to substitute the zeros into the generalization for r and s. Looking at the graph, what are your zeros?
-3 and 1.
-3 and 1. Right? So this is a 0, and this is a 0. Right? So I'm going to have to replace these values in for r and x. Okay? So if I replace, remember, A is still A. I haven't changed that.
So would it be plus
X?
3?
That's correct. Why is it plus 3, Lynn?
Because of the brackets is -3.
That's right. So if you look at negative, and then I'm putting another negative in there, what does it make? A positive. So if I put x minus -3, I'm going to write it down. If I put x minus and then -3, I have negative and negative after each other. That makes it a positive. Okay? How about the second one? So if I put x and then minus and then 1, right? You see how the number inside the bracket is the opposite of your zeros, right? So it's a +3, however your 0 is a -3. It's a -1, however your 0 is a 1. Okay, because when you take it outside the bracket, it's going to become the opposite operation. Okay. Are you guys okay up to now? What else do I have to find? The value of A. The value of A. Okay? Now to find the value of A, I need to sub-in values for x and y from any point on the graph, any clear point other than the zeros. You can't touch the zeros anymore. Okay? So if I scroll back up,
6.
the y-intercept, right? The y-intercept is a clear point, and it's 0, 6. 0 is what? X or y?
Y.
X.
Oh yeah,
Alphabetical order.
that's why, yeah.
And y is 6. Okay? So, I'm going to substitute 0 for x, 6 for y. What does BEDMAS tell you have to do? Brackets first. Right? So, 0 plus 3 is? 3. 0 minus 1? So I have 3, -1. What kind of operation do I have between the 3 and the -1? Multiplication, right? So 3 times -1. What's 3 times -1?
-3.
So instead of writing A equals A and then -3, I'm going to write it as -3A. The same thing, but it looks more mathematically correct. Okay? Are you okay up to now? Okay. Now, what do I have to do?
Divide 6 by -3.
Divide by -3 because I want to isolate for the A. So A is what?
-2.
-2. Now, does it make sense that your A is negative?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Graph's opening down.
The graph is opening down. Down means negative, right? Because n opens down. So the final step is, as usual, you go back and you write the -2 to the equation, replace A with it, and then x plus 3, x minus 1. Okay? Now, you could pick any point that is on the graph. So in this case, I picked the 0, 6, but you could have also, if the vertex is clear, you could have picked the vertex. Okay? So whatever you have a clear point, other than your zeros, you can pick to plug in for x and y. Okay? And then you solve for it. What I want you to do right now is I want you to go to page number 9 in your homework. And then at the bottom of page number 9, there's 2 questions that they want you to find the equation of the graph in factored form. So I want you to try these 2 questions